3 Stoic Tactics to Rise Above Contempt Without Retaliation. When you're looked down on and can't react, how small do you feel? Have you ever been belittled by your own family, colleagues, friends? A mocking remark in front of a crowd, a disdainful look when you share your thoughts, a cold scene when you needed help, or worse, silence so long it's as if you're not even worth noticing. And then you toss and turn, feel wounded, even want to strike back, just to prove, I have value too. I'm not as mediocre as you think. In an age where self-worth hangs by a thread on comments, likes, glances, polite nods, even the smallest contempt can make someone collapse inside. But the Stoics sees it differently. They don't see being looked down on as something to win. They see it as an opportunity to train the highest virtue, inner immovability. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It's not that someone holds you in contempt that's the problem. It's that you allow it to disturb your mind." Right now, let's go deep into 3 Stoic tactics to help you rise above contempt without retaliating. These tactics won't help you defeat others, but help you defeat yourself. Tactic 1. Do not measure yourself by the eyes of those who despise you. What's the first reflex when you're looked down on? It's to immediately reassess yourself. Am I truly incompetent? Did I say something wrong? Am I not good enough? Not smart enough? Not attractive enough? Not capable enough? And so a cheap remark from someone else becomes a tool for us to judge ourselves. But Epictetus warned his students, others may hold you in contempt, but you are only truly hurt when you agree with them. A seemingly simple sentence, but it is the foundation of inner freedom. The Stoic understands clearly, no one has the right to define your worth except you. So when they are belittled, they don't react with anger, but with a question. Does what this person thinks truly carry enough weight for me to treat it like a mirror? Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his journal, "You will never be insulted if you do not allow it." In reality, many belittle you, not because you're bad, but because they live within their own frame of reference. They look down on you because you choose to live slowly while they worship haste. They belittle your work because it doesn't fit their standard of success. They discount your lifestyle because it threatens their insecure ego. In other words, other people's contempt says more about them than about you. The first Stoic tactic is actively retain the right to define yourself. No one is given that right, not your boss, your partner, not even your parents. If you let a cold glance collapse your inner world, then it's not that they have power, it's that you handed it to them. Practicing this begins with awareness. Each time you're insulted, step back in your mind and ask, do I actually believe what they said is true? Does my value decrease because they don't acknowledge it? Why should I let my emotions be controlled by a shallow judgment? If you live like a Stoic, the answer is always no, because your value is built from within, not from others' gaze. When you no longer use other people's standards as a mirror for yourself, you remove one chain, but there remains a more dangerous shackle, the urge to counterattack to regain face. And that's when we need the second tactic. Tactic 2, don't lose your reason just to reclaim your pride. When belittled, human instinct often splits in two. Either swallow the anger and let it smolder, or snap back immediately to teach them a lesson. And both share one thing: you've lost control. You might think, I have to react to prove my worth. If I'm silent, people will think I'm weak. But the Stoic knows one thing very well. Self-respect does not lie in the comeback. It lies in not losing yourself when insulted. Seneca once wrote, "The wise do not take revenge because they never see themselves as harmed enough to need it." It sounds ideal, but look at reality. Do you truly feel glorious after a shouting match with someone who insulted you? Do you actually regain your worth after retaliating against someone who belittled you? Or do you just feel more exhausted, dirtier, and more confused with yourself? A Stoic won't act on a fleeting emotion. They will ask, does this reaction elevate me or drag me down to the same level as that pettiness? Marcus Aurelius wrote, do not let others make you act contrary to your own character. Therefore, the second tactic is, guard your reason like a fortress. When others behave low, let them remain at that level. You don't need to go down to fight and then claim you've won. Victory isn't making the other person shut up. Victory is leaving that situation with your inner world still calm. No ripples, no anger, no contempt. Self-respect does not come from others fearing you. It comes from knowing clearly the standard you live by, and that no one can pull you away from it. A very clear example is Marcus Aurelius, a ruler feared and revered by millions, yet he never used power to retaliate against critics or slanderers. He wrote in his journal, as a daily reminder, let them talk. I will live as I must live. You can't stop disrespectful words, but you can stop them from making you lose your inner dignity. And that is one of the quiet yet most powerful victories of a Stoic. When you no longer let emotions control your reactions, you've taken a big step toward inner mastery. But there's a subtler form of retaliation, harboring contempt in your heart and silently wishing misfortune on those who scorned you. To overcome that, you need a third tactic, stronger, harder, and more liberating. If you've stayed with us this far, you may be on the journey of freeing yourself from old wounds through reason. So, don't let the video stop midway like the way you once overlooked yourself. Subscribe to Stoicism Empire. Stay with us to the end. Perhaps this is exactly what you need to move forward without bowing or arguing with anyone. Tactic 3. Turn the energy of retaliation into self-training. Have you ever replayed an imaginary conversation just to craft the sharp retorts you wish you'd said? Have you ever showered, washed dishes, driven, lain in the dark, and still felt your blood boil remembering someone who belittled you? That's when you don't retaliate in action, but you retaliate in your mind. And that is one of life's greatest wastes. Epictetus said, we cannot control others' tongues, but we can control what we carry in our own minds. The third Stoic tactic is, convert the energy of hurt into fuel for self-training. When belittled, instead of reacting or swallowing anger, ask yourself, what lesson is this teaching me? How can I use this feeling to improve something within myself? How can I remain composed next time I face disrespect? The Stoic doesn't avoid pain. They transform it. Marcus Aurelius noted in Meditations, fire burns and consumes everything, but for a strong mind, what others throw at you becomes fuel for the inner flame to burn brighter. Instead of remembering the one who despised you, remember your reaction. So next time, you do better. Instead of spending hours scripting comebacks, spend that time to learn a new skill, become calmer in conversation, or simply let it go and move on. A mature Stoic does not let the offender live rent-free in their head. They don't ignore pain, but they don't let it be the reason they sink. Above all, they understand, growth doesn't come from reacting well, it comes from no longer needing to react. 3 tactics that seem simple, but if practiced consistently, you'll realize the deepest truth. You don't need to fight to reclaim your worth, because your true worth is never taken unless you abandon it. And at that moment, you'll find you no longer need to retaliate because you no longer feel insulted. Conclusion: true freedom is not being ruled by those who try to hurt you. In today's world, where your self-worth is easily shaken by a sentence, a status update, a half smile, keeping calm and not reacting is a profound inner skill. We can't change others' judgments. We can't demand the world be fair or kind to us, but we can and must master our inner life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, when treated poorly, you have 2 choices: become like them or remain who you are. The 3 Stoic tactics you've just explored aren't tricks to win an argument. They are the path to building a mind that cannot be manipulated. When you no longer use others' eyes to judge yourself, you are free. When you no longer react just to reclaim face, you have grown strong. When you convert hurt into training, you are truly maturing. Remember, not reacting isn't weakness. It's knowing that reacting gives away your power. The Stoic keeps that power. Silence isn't submission. It's that their inner world is too steady to need proof. You may be looked down on, but you don't have to feel diminished. Because value doesn't come from recognition. Value comes from choosing to live by reason, even when no one is watching. Non-reaction is not mere tolerance. It's when I choose to no longer let others control my emotions. Share below. When were you looked down on, and how did you rise above it? Stoicism Empire wants to hear your story. If what you've just heard made you feel lighter, less angry, less hurt, then this may not just be a video. This is a beginning. Subscribe to Stoicism Empire, because we don't tell stories to preach, but to remind you, you are not alone on the journey to build an invulnerable mind. Stoicism Empire. Strength is when you are calm enough not to retaliate